Well, our top story today from the gatewaypundit.com, RFK Jr. drops a mega bombshell on the mRNA vaccine technology. We're covering this story and so much more here on the Gateway Pundits Week in Review. My name is Elijah Schaffer, and this is the Gateway Pundits Week in Review, where we cover the top stories of the last 24 hours. Our top story today, Vigilant Fox reports that RFK Jr. drops a mega bombshell on the mRNA vaccine technology. We have the video for you. Plus, it also turns out that in a move that many were hoping for, but were not expecting, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy just announced that BARDA will be canceling 22 mRNA vaccine development contracts, saving taxpayers at about $500 million in the process. This move delivered a major blow to the biomedical industrial complex, which was hoping to make mRNA vaccines for just about every disease imaginable. If you don't believe me, check out the video. We have it for you in just a moment. Watch.
Kennedy Jr. here. You're HHS Secretary. At HHS, we have a division called the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, or BARDA. BARDA drives some of our most advanced scientific research. It funds developments of vaccines, drugs, diagnostics, and other tools to fight emerging diseases and national health threats. Over the past few weeks, BARDA reviewed 22 mRNA vaccine development investments and began canceling them. Let me explain why. Most of these shots are for flu or COVID, but as the pandemic showed us, mRNA vaccines don't perform well against viruses that infect the upper respiratory tract. Here's the problem. mRNA only codes for a small part of the viral proteins, usually a single antigen. One mutation and the vaccine becomes ineffective. This dynamic drives a phenomenon called antigenic shift, meaning that the vaccine paradoxically encourages new mutations and can actually prolong pandemics as the virus constantly mutates to escape the protective effects of the vaccine. Millions of people, maybe even you or someone you know, caught the Omicron variant despite being vaccinated. That's because a single mutation can make mRNA vaccines ineffective. The same risk applies to flu. After reviewing the science and consulting top experts at NIH and FDA, HHS has determined that mRNA technology poses more risks than benefits for these respiratory viruses. That's why, after extensive review, BARDA has begun the process of terminating these 22 contracts, totaling just under $500 million. To replace the troubled mRNA programs, we're prioritizing the development of safer, broader vaccine strategies, like whole virus vaccines and novel platforms that don't collapse when viruses mutate. Let me be absolutely clear. HHS supports safe, effective vaccines for every American who wants them. That's why we're moving beyond the limitations of mRNA for respiratory viruses and investing in better solutions. Thank you.
I love when people are like, RFK Jr., he's getting sugar in our Coke. And you're like, that's not going to help the obesity problem. Like, high fructose corn syrup has nothing to do with the obesity problem. Drinking sugary beverages does, whether it's sugar from corn or sugar from cane or sugar from beets. It's sugar, and we don't want that in our drinks. I don't know how people, it's hard enough for me to keep weight off in general. I mean, I'm in my 30s, but imagine drinking a Coca-Cola unironically. That will make you fat as hell. Don't do that, says the guy who can down 10 vodka sodas in a night. But anyway, there's no sugar in them, right? It's just corn sugar, potato sugar, I should say. That being said, have you ever wondered what happened to legendary Chuck Norris? Well, I recently saw a video that he made, and I was shocked. He's in his 80s, and he's still kicking butt and working out and staying active. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. Now, he did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s, and his wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says that she feels 10 years younger, her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. Make sure that you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/pundit or by clicking in the link below the video. It'll change the way that you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/pundit. Click the link in the description below to watch the video now. You won't believe how simple it is. Watch his method by clicking the link in the description, chuckdefense.com/pundit at chuckdefense.com/pundit. Check it out today. Now, that being said, Backfire. Barack Obama weighs in on the Texas redistricting controversy, and it promptly blows up in his face. Cool Lineberger reports. On Tuesday, former President Barack Obama decided to weigh in on Texas Republicans' efforts to redistrict mid-decade, and he may have wanted to wait to hit that instead. Now, his lovely husband, Michael, sorry, I misread that. It doesn't say that. It says, as the Gateway Pundit reported, President Trump urged Texas Governor Greg Abbott and the Texas state legislature to create 5 additional Republican congressional seats to improve the GOP's chances of winning the midterms. Now, Abbott and the legislature obliged, and that was not at the end of the story. After the map was approved by a House panel, Texas Democrats fled the state. That was, of course, to block the Republicans in the legislature for the redistricting issue. You take that off the screen for a second. Now, one of the reasons why we talk about that is for one reason. What they did was illegal. As you can see here, here is the Illinois congressional redistricting, which they talk about. It has an overall grade F where he's from. So that's ironic. Plus, as you move on, the election results were here. Connecticut, the presidential vote had 41.9% for Republicans, 0% GOP House delegation, 36% for Massachusetts, 0% for House delegation. New Jersey, almost half, 25%. New Mexico, 45%, 0%. New York, 43%, and 26%, meaning the liberal states are redistricting themselves. Now, I'm not against redistricting. Like, you know, there's a type of districting that I believe in that I think is probably not even in line with this network, which I don't want to, so I won't bring it up. But I think gerrymandering and redistricting is very important to maintaining power. The country's not about equality. Like, everyone thinks it's about equality. They don't care about you. You know, blacks vote about black issues, right? White people are the only people who don't vote on white issues. White people are the only people who vote on Republican or Democrat, right? But for the most part, races vote on racial lines. White people split themselves up. But even then, like, Democrats don't care about, if you live in a Democrat state, they don't care about Republicans having equal representation. They don't care what you want. They care about Democrats having ultimate power. And so Republicans are going to play the same game too. It's called the uniparty. I don't know if I agree with it completely, but it is what it is. Now, that being said, it also turns out here that Obama, he should be in jail. I can't believe that's made it into the story. It's crazy. Anyway, yeah, sometimes I'm like, wow, are we doing this? Breaking news, Fort Stewart in Georgia on lockdown after active shooter opens fire. 5 soldiers were shot and the shooters identified in custody. It's a very sad story. Christina Lila has more of the details. An active shooter opened fire at Fort Stewart in Georgia on Wednesday morning. The shooter is reportedly a male soldier. As of now, there are no fatalities reported. 5 soldiers have been taken to a hospital and their conditions are yet known. One suspect has been identified, but law enforcement has not released the name. The Army base, home to the 3rd Infantry Division, is in lockdown, and Fort Stewart is in lockdown status due to an active shooter incident in the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team area. The installation was locked down at 11:04 a.m., and law enforcement is on the scene at this time. Fort Stewart Hunter Army Airfield said on Facebook. Now, casualties have been reported, and the situation is ongoing. CNN is reporting on this developing story. We have a clip for you sharing just exactly what happened. Take a look and listen. The details may be shocking.
Breaking news just coming in. Fort Stewart in Georgia is locked down for an active shooter situation. This is according to a Fort Stewart police spokesperson. Let's go live to CNN correspondent Isabel Rosales. What are you learning, Isabel?
Hey, Pam, we're working to gather details, but of course the situation still breaking, unfolding, very active. Here's what we do have, that Fort Stewart is under a lockdown. This is per the U.S. Army's Fort Stewart police spokesperson that confirmed to CNN, quote, there is an active shooter, but did not give additional details as to the status of the shooter, how many shooters there could be. No additional details on that. Now, according to the Fort Worth Facebook page, casualties have been reported and the situation is ongoing. Now, Fort Stewart, trains and deploys active and reserve Army units. This is home to the 3rd Infantry Division, and it's just 40 miles to the southwest of Savannah, Georgia. So still a very quickly unfolding situation. We're working to get more details, Pam.
Yeah, and I know it's tough in these early moments. We're just getting very.
Man, that woman in the brown hair looks like so many women I know mixed together. Bringing that back up, it's like so many actresses and people I've met just like kind of blurred into one person, right? Very generic looking person. Pretty girl though, by the way. But a very, very sad story indeed. I mean, it's truly tragic. Why people go out and shoot people. I thought we were only allowed to do that in the Middle East. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, we do forget, though, that, these are real lives at hand, and we can't sit around and make light of the fact that, mental health is a real issue in our country. And a lot of soldiers end up committing suicide and committing mass atrocities because, realistically speaking, what are they fighting for? They think they're fighting for freedom and for our country, but we often send them to die for nothing. And I think a lot of times we don't take care of like how they are doing. It's a very sacrificial job. We love our troops, and I feel very, very deeply and sad for the way our country has treated our veterans. Now, that being said, we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams are the easiest way to look younger. But Dr. John Lake, a renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, dismisses them as nothing more than glorified moisturizers with little effect on appearance. He's recently shifted his focus from mainstream cosmetic practices to introduce what he calls the Age Rewinder method, a do-it-yourself technique that promises to erase years or even decades from your appearance in just under 2 minutes. Dr. Lake has made this breakthrough accessible by releasing a free step-by-step video that has quickly gone viral. Amassing over 2.3 million views, the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, with many viewers reporting looking significantly younger. Dr. Lake encourages those who benefit from his video to share it, aiming to help as many people as possible. Reclaim a youthful look today by checking it out at bhmd1.com/pundit. That's the letters BHMD, the number 1.com/PUNDIT. And we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams are the easiest way to look younger. But the question is, can you? I don't know why the whole thing is repeated twice. That way you just know that Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public. He wants you to know that so much that he will repeat himself again and again. Make sure you look out where he outlines the simple solution from home. Remember, if this helps even one person look younger or feel more confident, I'll be thrilled knowing I helped. Make sure you check it out today. It has over 2.3 million views at BHMD, the number 1.com/pundit today. Lastly, it's important to realize a third green dildo has been tossed onto the WNBA basketball court. Angry player kicks it off the court. Check out this video we have here. It's absolutely fantastic. Never thought I'd be showing you dildos on this show. Check this out.
Oh, look out. Something just came onto the floor. Got an object that just flew in as the free throw was being made. And it looked like that hit a player, too.
Now, Polymarket just released that actually betting on Polymarket for the next color of the next dildo that will be thrown has now reached greater betting odds than who will win the next game in the WNBA. I am not joking. People are more interested in dildos and women combined than women and balls. So that's just the truth. That is, of course, balls that are leather and don't belong to you or me. The sad part is the sexualization of these women is actually what surprises me, as many of which look like men. And I wouldn't consider them to be considered historically attractive, although there have been some really, really good new developments, especially with Caitlin Clark. This is a very tongue-in-cheek story. Let's just say, as long as we don't combine the dildos and any tongue-in-cheek, I think we'll be a family-friendly environment for everybody for years to come. I say it by all of us and say, as much as I don't condone the throwing of sexual toys onto the floor of these games, it's funny as hell. And maybe if you keep doing it, we're going to keep laughing. Because it's not the first time this has happened. Check this out.
Hayes gets blocked by Maya Caldwell. Something flies on the court, actually, from the crowd. The officials will say they will continue play as that goes off the fingertips of the Valkyries.
And you can see the object, the block right there. And the object comes, that green thing bounces, and it goes to the sideline. We're not exactly where it, I'm not sure where it came.
Slow-mo the dildo. Gateway pundits, this is really probably beneath us, to be completely honest. I don't think we should be covering, I mean, I don't know why we're covering stories about dildos, but it's funny, so we'll leave it there. Anyway, I'm Elijah Schaffer. Don't forget, if you want to join our Mug Club, support independent media and journalism, you can do so by going to thegatewaypundit.com/join today. You can grab one of these mugs. They're embossed, they're made weighty, and they're a fantastic addition to your collection. Have a great rest of the week as always, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.